Hey everyone, imagine a guy who starts with nothing, faces tough times as a kid, joins the military young, and then becomes one of the biggest movie stars ever. What if that same man ends his days in a quiet home, facing health problems that no one saw coming? Stick with me, because today we're diving deep into the amazing life and sad final chapter of Gene Hackman. You won't want to miss how his story wraps up, so make sure you watch all the way to the end. Gene Hackman was born in a small town in California back in the early days of tough economic times. His family moved around a lot, and things at home weren't always easy. His dad worked hard but struggled, and eventually left when Gene was just a boy. That hurt stayed with him, but it also pushed him to find his own way. As a teenager, he got into some small trouble and decided to join the Marines at a young age. He lied about how old he was to get in. Life in the service took him to different places like Japan and China, where he even worked on radio for a while. Those years taught him discipline and gave him stories he would carry forever. After leaving the Marines, Gene tried a few different jobs. He wasn't sure what he wanted to do at first, but deep down he loved movies. He had spent hours as a kid watching films and dreaming about being part of that world. So he moved to New York and started studying acting. It wasn't easy. He was already in his late 20s, older than many others starting out. He worked small theater roles and took whatever acting gigs he could find. People around him saw his talent, that strong presence, and real way he could become someone else on stage or screen. His big break came in the late 1960s with a movie called Bonnie and Clyde. He played the brother of one of the main outlaws, and everyone noticed how real and powerful his performance was. That role got him his first big award nomination. But it was in 1971 that everything changed. He starred as a tough, rule-breaking cop named Popeye Doyle in The French Connection. The movie was full of action and chase scenes, and Gene brought so much energy and truth to the character. He won his first Oscar for Best Actor. Suddenly, he was a star. Directors wanted him for all kinds of roles. Over the next few decades, Gene showed he could play almost anyone. He was a hero in some films, and a bad guy in others. In The Conversation, he played a quiet man who listens in on people's lives, and it was so intense. He appeared in big hits, like The Poseidon Adventure, where he helped save people on a sinking ship. He even played Superman's enemy Lex Luthor, bringing humor and menace to the part. In Hoosiers, he was a basketball coach who inspired his team, and in Mississippi Burning, he took on a serious role about fighting for justice. People loved how ordinary he looked, but how deeply he could feel every character. One of his most famous later roles was in Unforgiven, a Western with Clint Eastwood. Gene played a mean sheriff who ruled with fear. He made the character scary but also human. That performance won him his second Oscar, this time for Best Supporting Actor. By then, he had proven he was one of the best actors of his time. He worked with great directors and actors, and fans waited to see what he would do next. He made close to 80 movies in total, and many of them are still watched and loved today. Away from the cameras, Gene had a full life too. He was married first for many years and had 3 children. Later, he found love again with Betsy Arakawa, a talented piano player. They got married in the early 1990s and built a quiet life together in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Gene loved painting, writing books, and just enjoying simple days. He retired from acting around 2004 because he said it was getting too stressful for his health. He had some heart issues over the years, but he stayed active and private. Fans respected that he wanted peace after such a busy career. Gene also tried his hand at writing novels. He created stories about the Old West and thrillers that showed his love for good tales. He lived a comfortable life with Betsy, surrounded by their dogs and the beautiful New Mexico landscape. They kept to themselves, away from the bright lights of Hollywood. People who knew them said they were happy and close. Gene had faced health challenges, including heart problems that needed a pacemaker, but he kept going strong into his 90s. Now the sad part of the story that shocked so many. In February 2025, maintenance workers found Gene and Betsy in their home. It was a heartbreaking discovery. One of their dogs had also passed. At first, no one knew exactly what happened. There were no signs of anything bad like an accident or crime. The investigation took time to understand the details. Betsy had gotten sick with a rare illness called hantavirus, which comes from contact with certain rodents. It made her very ill, and she passed away first. Around the middle of the month, Jean was 95 years old and dealing with advanced Alzheimer's disease. Because of that, he may not have fully understood what was happening with his wife. He lived on for about a week longer. His heart, which had been weak for years, finally gave out. Doctors found he had serious heart disease and other health issues. His pacemaker helped show when his heart stopped beating normally. It was all natural causes, but the way it unfolded was truly tragic. They had been together for over 30 years, supporting each other through everything. Losing them both so close together felt like the end of an era. Gene Hackman's life shows how someone can rise from hard beginnings to the top of Hollywood through hard work and real talent. He brought so many unforgettable characters to life and touched millions of people. But his final days remind us that even the strongest stars face human struggles like age and illness. It's a story of success mixed with quiet sadness at the end. He left behind classic movies that new generations still discover and enjoy. His family remembered him as a loving dad and grandpa, even through the distances that sometimes happen in life. If you enjoyed hearing about Gene's journey, the ups and the heartbreaking end, please hit that like button and subscribe for more real stories about the people who shaped our favorite films. Share this video with anyone who loves classic movies or wants to learn more about the lives behind the screen. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next one. Thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. It really means a lot. What was your favorite Gene Hackman movie? Let me know in the comments below. See you in the next video.